Today was Transport Day. Today was also not a good day. There was extreme drama today after the draft text of the cover decisions came half a day late and following raging gossip everywhere and on social media about difficulties being reached in the discussions. Those who listened to Jamie Peters' interview will have heard his concern that commitments made during the announcements by world leaders could remain outside the UNFCCC process. Jamie was right. We had world leaders walking around the hallways in tears, giving interviews in tears. I myself cried after speaking with a member of a delegation from Bangladesh who had given up on the process and was wandering around asking anyone he could find for help. And we had a very emotional press conference by the Climate Vulnerable Forum this evening, just an hour ago, where they reminded delegations from the holdout states just what was at stake for them. It's not just an economic issue, it is an existential issue. I am trying to be hopeful. There are still 2 days left. It's looking increasingly likely that we are going to see negotiations stretch into the weekend, and that's despite what Alex Sharma said about his strong desire to end negotiations as scheduled on Friday. To avoid depressing all listeners, there has been some progress. So the cover decision, which still has to be agreed, of course, does have positive aspects. The Paris Agreement doesn't mention fossil fuels at all. That was diplomatic necessity, and that was required in order to get all of the nations to agree to the document. Here, however, fossil fuels are expressly mentioned. The document, in here I'm quoting, calls upon parties to accelerate the phasing out of coal and subsidies for fossil fuels. That lacks time-bound commitments, but that is absolutely progress. Now, for today's announcements, there was the launch of a new World Bank Trust Fund to mobilise $200 million over the next 10 years to decarbonise road transport in emerging markets and developing economies. And 19 governments have also stated their intent to support the establishment of green shipping corridors. These are zero-emission shipping routes between two ports, key routes identified across the globe. And that requires deploying zero-emission vessels, alternative fuels, and charging infrastructure in ports that will allow for zero-emission shipping. And the UK has pledged to shift to clean trucks by committing to end the sale of most new diesel trucks between 2035 and 2040. Short one today, sad one today. Tomorrow is a new day. And for us planners, it's a very exciting one, Land Use and the Built Environment Day, and one hopefully with better news than today. Thank you for listening as ever.